Hi guys, Christian here. It's a beautiful day in Chula Vista and I wanted to put together this compilation video that goes through the sale process of this home from beginning to end. How we prepared it, how we got it marketed, how we got offers, and how we got it closed for a price that's so far above asking price. You're going to want to see exactly how much this homeowner netted. We go through the process from beginning to end. So let's hop right into this video and you can see exactly how we sold this home for way more than Zillow, Redfin, or Realtor.com said it was worth. We just took this brand new listing in Rolling Hills Ranch, Chula Vista, California. It's 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. There's 4 phases when we sell any property. The first is preparation, next comes marketing and advertising, third is negotiation, and fourth is closing. Preparation is the most important part of any listing. We have the home inspection to be completed, we have the termite inspection, we have the improvements that need to be done to the property, we have the curb appeal done through our landscape architect, we are going to have the most amazing aspects of this home pointed out and highlighted for our marketing. We're going to stage the home professionally so that it looks perfectly ready to move into. It will look like a model. We want everyone and anyone who's looking in this area to see this home, to be able to make an offer and to collect all those offers and then go with the highest one, get it into escrow and get it closed as efficiently as possible. Our goal as listing broker is to maximize that value and hit a record-breaking price for the neighborhood. We don't get paid unless we break the record. You heard me right. Unless we set a record-breaking price for this neighborhood, you pay us $0. The interior of this home is extremely basic, with shag carpeting, linoleum floors in the kitchen and bathrooms. There's been no upgrades made to this house since the owners moved in. As with most houses prior to them being put on the market, there's a lot of clutter that needs to be cleaned up and removed. The kitchen is very basic with white tile countertops and oak-style cabinets. The appliances are original and they appear to be working, although they do need a deep cleaning. The exterior of the home is in great condition and only needs some minor landscaping to make everything look great. The initial curb appeal is perfect for this home, and 99% of the buyers who pull up are going to enjoy looking at the front and imagining themselves living here. The living room in the house is extremely spacious, and the vaulted ceilings make it feel so much larger than it is. Make sure to smash that like button. The downstairs bathroom is very basic, but it does have a full shower, so it can be used by guests or other people that are staying at the home. The laundry room is right next to the garage, and the washer and dryer will be included. The garage is the ideal place to store all of the owner's previous belongings when preparing for the sale. This home does have 5 bedrooms, with one being downstairs. There's a mirrored closet which creates that spacious illusion. The downstairs bedroom can also be used as a home office, which is a great benefit for potential buyers. The staircase has an extremely basic banister, but it does open up to the downstairs living room, which is nice. The master bedroom is a very good size and has the ideal balcony retreat that faces east to the mountains. This is going to create expansive views with know your neighbors, and it's going to be a key piece of our marketing. The master bathroom is again very basic with carpeting throughout, which is kind of disgusting, but that's the way that the homes came. It's not the best option when it comes to new buyers who are looking for either a tile or a landscape in the bathroom that makes it much better to absorb water and those types of things. It is nice to have the separate shower and bathtub, and the master bath does include a nice size walk-in closet. The additional bedrooms, all on the second story, are typical size. There is also a Jack and Jill bathroom that connects 2 of the bedrooms and services all 3 of the upstairs bedrooms. Each bedroom is about 120 square feet or so, which is typical. You're going to see most bedrooms are about 11 by 11 or 12 by 10. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and press that bell notification so that you'll be notified when we post additional videos, and follow us along the journey to get this home sold. Overall, the home is very basic. There's very few upgrades that have been done to the interior. It is in good condition, but it is missing a lot of the key features that buyers are looking for. It's going to be a challenge to present the home to the most potential buyers. We probably will get a very good variety of people that come through, but a lot of them are going to be looking to do upgrades to the home once they do buy it. So that's going to affect our ultimate purchase price and what we do get when it comes to offers for the home. In this case, we're probably going to highlight the neighborhood, schools, pools, parks. The family environment to this neighborhood is going to sell this home much more than the home itself. Okay, let's take a look at what Zillow, Realtor.com, and Redfin have to say about what this home is worth. Zillow says that it's worth about $713,000. Redfin, on the other hand, says that the home is worth about $715,000. Realtor.com has the value at $710,000. My goal as the real estate broker is to blow all three of these estimates out of the water and get the most potential offers on this property so that people bid it up. We want to get tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars more than what the estimates are saying. In the next few days, we're going to prepare the home for the market. The first step is to get the home inspection done so that we can determine what's wrong with the house that we can't see. We need to fix those things ahead of time, and also to make any improvements that we can to make this more desirable to all potential buyers. So come along on this journey with us as we attempt to set another record-breaking price in this neighborhood. Make sure to leave a comment below on what you feel this home will sell for. In today's video, we're going to talk about termites, those nasty little pests that give us so many issues when we buy and sell homes. We'll quickly touch on the termite inspector's role, what they're looking for, how their inspection report reads, and then we'll dive right into the report itself. To give you an idea on what states have the most termite problems, take a look at this map. Where I live in California, it's incredibly infested with termites, and we see about 50 to 60% of the homes that we put on the market needing to have some type of termite fumigation or repairs prior to the home being sold. Hopefully you don't own a home like this one, or if you do, God bless you, because there's going to be all kinds of termite work that needs to happen. Before we jump into the report, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Alrighty, we're going to take a look at the Wood Destroying Pest and Organism Inspection Report, better known as the Termite Inspection. This is a quick 2-page report, so it won't take much time at all. The first thing you want to notice on the first page is, are there any termites, or is there anything to be worried about? And in this case, yes, there is. So let's look down in the middle of the page. You'll notice that there are checkboxes for subterranean termites, drywood termites, fungus dry rot, other findings, and further inspection. So we see that there are drywood termites and fungus and dry rot in this property. When you look down at the map of the property itself, you'll see numbers and letters, and those numbers and letters are going to refer to the report itself. The inspector is going to label them and then later describe exactly what they are. The best thing that you can possibly hope for when it comes to any termite inspection is not to see any numbers on that floor plan at all. That means you've got a clear report and that you're not going to have any issues. But in this case, we do have some problems, so let's figure out exactly what it's going to cost. Looking at page 2 of the report, you're going to see the description and findings. So in this case, we have section 1 work that needs to be done. There are 2 sections when it comes to a termite report. Section 1 are those items that you typically need to get fixed prior to the lender loaning on a property. They want to see these items completely repaired or replaced prior to a loan being funded on a property. Section 2 are items that are recommended to be done, but typically don't need to be done for the lender to lend. Section 2 items are usually wood replacement or other findings such as fencing or that type of thing, which are recommended to be done but don't need to be. In this case, we've got several Section 1 dry wood termite and fungus dry rot items that we need to take care of. There's evidence of dry wood termites. They're noted in several different places, 2A, 2B, 2C. It's going to be $2,465 to take care of the tenting and fumigation necessary in order to eliminate the termites completely. And then we're going to need to do some wood replacement, and that finding is not very good either. We've got $2,820 there that need to be taken care of. So the grand total is going to be $5,285 in order to take care of everything necessary on this property and get it completed prior to a new loan being able to be placed on the property. James, it's always my pleasure working with you guys at Morales Home Inspections. It's awesome. I appreciate you doing such a thorough job when it comes to these home inspections. It's quite a task, I understand.
It is. It's something that I absolutely love to do. For me, it's really nice to be able to educate a buyer or a seller on what the condition of the property is. So then that way they know what to expect in their transaction, to be prepared for negotiations or be prepared to just have a smooth transaction. Again, for you, I feel it's the most critical to know the big ticket items and the most crucial parts of the house, structural, health, and safety. So then that way, again, when you're putting a house on the market like this, when we're at today, we're ready for it. Your clients are prepared for a smooth transaction. A buyer can walk in, get a smooth transaction, close without any hiccups or any surprises.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times there's always a surprise in a house, and we want to disclose that beforehand so then everybody's ready and knows how to handle the situation appropriately.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we always get our pre-inspections done before the home goes on the market. I know how many roughly would you say agents out there do inspections prior to the home being listed on the market? I know most of them will get inspections done, you know, when they're in escrow and the buyer wants to know, is the house okay? Am I buying, you know, a good property?
Correct.
But we want to know ahead of time so that we can, you know, fix all those little issues that don't become a huge problem later on when the buyer wasn't expecting it, right? Or understand what our pricing model would look like, because if there's a problem, we can always price accordingly. You know, we might not be able to get top dollar, but or we could fix everything, make it perfect, and know that we're going to get the high end of the range when it comes to the market. But how many other agents out there are
it's a very few number, surprisingly.
Yeah.
It's not that common. It's something that I don't understand why. I would assume an agent would want a smoother transaction for their seller. I would assume the agent would want to have all the information up front. But that also is a double-edged sword. Like you said, if you're aware of the information and you're aware of the condition, that can also put you at liability. So those are the things that you have to learn to price accordingly, like you said. I've seen a lot of agents think a pre-listing inspection is going to give them top dollar immediately, but they're not understanding that you have to put into the property to get back out of the property. So again, a pre-listing is going to give you that decision. Okay, do we want to go in and get full price for it? Well, then we need to do some repairs. Or you know what, do we want to just sell it as is and do a little bit of a price reduction and explain to them the reason why there's a price reduction, so there's no holdups in the transaction and there's no holds up or delays when things are disclosed to them.
Exactly.
Because that's the one thing for me that I see with you guys is your clients don't have delays. Your clients don't have hiccups. Your clients don't have surprises. And that's the peace of mind that I see as a seller or a buyer I want. I don't want a surprise. I want to know that when I start a transaction and I make a deal that I'm going to close, that's what we're doing. We're not going to have oh, well, there's closing costs, there's a price reduction, we have to have a credit. That's not something I want to see either person have to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to know right when you list the property that there's not going to be a problem, right? You're going to open up escrow, you're going to close escrow, you're not going to find any surprises that are lurking, you know, in the distance. And you know, one of the things that I always look for is just the major concerns that you can't see when you walk into a property. So you want to know the plumbing's good, you know, the electrical, the roof, the foundation, you know, those major mechanical aspects to a home that people wouldn't otherwise think about until after they get, you know, the property into escrow.
Right.
So we love it when you guys come out and you can tell us, okay, this outlet's not working, or this you know, this valve needs to be adjusted, or this angle stop is not shutting off completely.
And that's something that we find very commonly in the home, is angle stops and shutoff valves. Usually what happens is they sit, they over time don't get used and operated, and they fail. Well, those are those things that if you don't know about and you want to do a change in your faucet, you go to operate that and it breaks, it leaks, it floods. You create damages, you create problems that you weren't aware of. Versus when we get to come in, we get to test all those things and educate, hey, this is what's going on, this is what needs to be repaired. And it becomes a very smoother process.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, you guys do so many more aspects of the inspection. How many pages is the typical?
A typical average report is about close to 50 pages, and that is almost what I would say a very basic report. That's how detailed we want to go. The more information we give, the better, the more educated the seller or buyer is. And again, what we look at is if there is areas of concern and you're knowing the damages at hand or the concerns at hand, then you can make the proper decisions on how to affect that area or address that area.
Yeah, and you guys always take a photo, or
we do our best.
I've seen a video of like an issue where we can go ahead and troubleshoot it and say, oh my gosh, you're right. You know, there's a problem with this corrosion that's happening right here, or you know, there's an active leak or whatever the case may be. And you guys also offer additional inspection services that other home inspectors don't. You know, I was on your website looking at all the different things, you know, termite reports, and what are some of the other things that you do?
We also do a concierge service. We also do full mold inspection. We also can do pool inspections and sewer scoping inspections. The biggest thing that we've stepped into now is do more sewer stuff. So now we can do a water pressurization test, where what we do is we put a pressure tester on the hose bib, we leave the valve all the way open, and we run it for approximately between 15 to 20 minutes and verify that the pressure has not dropped in the home. If we see a pressure drop in the home, that indicates a leak or a fail somewhere in the line. The other thing that we do is a fill test on the sewer line, where we fill up the two-way cleanouts and then we verify that it retains and holds the water for 30 minutes. And again, if there's any drop in the water, then that indicates that there's a leak in the sewer line. The other thing that we do is we can also scope the sewer line from the two-way cleanouts. One would go directly into the house and the other one would go to the city, and we'd verify the condition. Again, those are additional services that we offer so we can get additional information based upon the client's needs and the property's situation. What I always feel like, some properties like the one we're in today are in great condition, and we always recommend sewer scoping, but sometimes it's just more of an informational purpose. And then other times we're in properties where we see backups, odors, and we highly recommend sewer scoping because we're seeing indication that there's an issue.
Yeah, definitely.
And those are things that, again, you're aware of. A sewer scoping is $230 at the scene of the inspection, and those are things that can prolong and save you from bigger ticket items later down the road. I recently just had a sewer line replaced, and it was quoted at $7,000.
Wow.
So that would have been very daunting for your seller to hear that. But if, again, they're aware of it before they close, that is, again, something they can negotiate with a potential new buyer.
Definitely, yeah. And what I really appreciate is that you guys do a thorough inspection, but you're agnostic, right? You tell us what the issues are or what the potential issues are. But you're not telling us, oh, you need to fix that, because what I've had in the past is when I call a roof inspector, you know, say out to check out the roof, what are they going to tell me?
You have to have it repaired.
You have to replace that roof, right? And it's going to be $12,000.
The most expensive possible ticket.
Or if I say, hey, you know what, it looks like there might be a crack in the foundation, what does the foundation inspector say?
Replace the whole foundation.
Replace the foundation, right. They don't want the little tiny fixes, or they don't want to tell you that it's not an issue. They want the job. They're coming out there and they're looking over things just so they can find problems. And it's kind of like when you go get your brakes done at the mechanic, right? You go in there and you think, oh, this is going to be a $40 brake pad thing, and then they find out 16 other things that you didn't know about, and you spend $2,000, and you know, not that those things necessarily had to be done, but they were recommended. You know, they were things that could have been done. But what you guys do, which I really appreciate, is that you go and say, hey, there might be an issue with this, and you might want to have it checked by a specific person, electrician, you know, a foundation expert. But, you know, I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, you need to get that done and it's going to cost you $20,000 to do, because, you know, nobody wants to obviously get that kind of a bill.
And then what I've also learned in this industry is there's no no has to by anybody, right? So if a seller's selling a property, he can sell it in any condition he chooses. And again, we're just here to educate him on his purchase, or in this case, his sell, and the reverse. If it's a buyer, we just want to educate them on their purchase. And if they're aware of the condition and they're aware of the financial commitment, then that's the most important part. Is again, understanding what you're committed to when you're buying a property. Being a homeowner is very daunting, but can also be very fun. And that's that fine line that we try to help them. We want to educate them on their purchase, but also educate them on their condition so they can decide, do I need to have these done by X amount of people, or what we should do.
Right, right. And I really appreciate your thoughtfulness when it comes to explaining that to buyers as well, because a lot of times inspectors can just kill a deal, right? You're just like, oh my God, what did you just tell the buyer? Because they just got cold feet and backed out of that transaction. And it could be something as small as, you know, a $15, $20 fix, but they thought, oh my gosh, the piping's bad or the plumbing's bad, or it's going to cost me $20,000 to fix. Whereas you're just like, you know what? The bones of the house are in good shape. It's been here for 50 years. It's not going anywhere. There's going to be typical wear and tear for a 50-year-old home, but this home is great. I would live in it myself, you know, and that's really reassuring, and that's really what a buyer wants to hear. And on our side, when we're selling a home or when we're working with a buyer to buy a home, we want them to be assured, right? We want them to understand that, yeah, there's going to be issues with any home. You know, this is not a brand new purchase. And even in a brand new home,
the list is still just as long.
You've still got a laundry list of items that need to be fixed. So with this house right here, what were some of the items that you found today?
So typically in a house, we usually find shutoff valves and angle stops, and that's what we found here. The other thing that we started to see that was a very common thing is the deterioration of caulking around countertops and faucets and around toilet seat bases. Again, those are regular maintenance items. So for us, those are things that we always recommend to do on an annual basis, the caulking, the deterioration. The other things that we did see on this house is there's some vegetation in contact with the front left side of the house, and we call that out for two reasons. One, it's excessive wear on the house, and then two, the rodents and critters. So again, we try to maintain the property as it is, but we also protect the house. We don't want to see rodents and critters gaining access to the attic and burrowing in. The other thing that we did notice on the property is the hot water heater. So the hot water heater was installed in 2011, sorry, and as of 2012, we recommended some new safety features to be installed. So those are things that we call out as just an improvements, not necessarily things that have to be done, but things like an expansion tank. What an expansion tank is going to do, it's going to store hot water. So on a house that's over 2,000 square foot like this one, instead of waiting for a few minutes in the master for hot water, it'll actually send hot water through the expansion tank. So again, it makes things a little bit more energy efficient. You're not wasting the water running through the full line. The other thing that we're going to be calling out is we're missing a drip pan. What that drip pan is going to do is going to keep the water protected if there was ever a flood or a leak at the hot water heater, instead of damaging the interior of the drywall. And then there's a dielectric union call out that we call out on the fittings on the hot and cold sides. What those are is those are basically going to keep the two different metals, copper and stainless steel, from creating a static electronic charge, which creates corrosion. So again, to prolong the life of the hot water heater, we're calling these things out. So as of right now, it's in great working condition, but those are things that we want to call out to protect the unit, to keep it working to the 15, 20-year lifespan.
Great, great.
And then on the interior side, there's just some missing smoke detectors, which is again something we recommend as a health and safety in all bedrooms. And then we recommend carbon monoxide detectors on lower level and upper level, especially on a lower level when there's a bedroom or a living quarters. And that's pretty much the common things.
You can hear the cheeping of the smoke detector that needs
As
a
we
battery.
talk, yes. So again, and then there's the old smoke detectors and then the failed batteries. As of right now, those are things that we recommend to be 10-year battery lives. So again, so you move in, don't have to think about it for 10 years. That's an easy thing as a homeowner. Okay, I've lived in the house 7 years. Oh wait, those are batteries or 3 years left. And then there's little things like in this house, we've got some inner seals failed on the windows. Basically what happens is these windows are double pane windows and they have a gasket around the edges. And what was happening when these were installed, the heat was causing the gasket to move inwards, which is starting to become an eyesore. But what eventually can happen is that gasket can fail and then condensation can form in between the two panes of glass. So again, those are things that we call out. Those are actually on the upper two windows. So for me, those are going to be one of those things where it's really just going to be an education decision. Do you want to see that repaired? Safety concern? No, not a safety concern. Just a cosmetic. You won't be able to see through. You'll have a little bit of dirt and debris build up.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of the basic stuff that we see. In this house, this is that moment for me if it's in really good condition.
Great.
The previous seller has done a wonderful job of maintaining the house. And these are those moments for me where I'm excited because I know that the market is very saturated with unfortunately not good properties. So when I see a property like this in this excellent condition, it really warms my heart because I know buyers going to be coming in and get excited to get into a new home, especially in this condition.
Nice, nice.
And these are the little details that I like to see, you know, a buyer happy and a seller happy.
Yeah, on your side, I mean, as the home inspector, I'm sure that you see, a variety of all kinds, right?
There's a lot of colors that we see in this industry.
You're going to have the unhappy seller that you found too much, right?
Yep.
Or you found that have the unhappy buyer who really loved that house. It was their dream home, but you know what? It's got too many issues, and they, you can't go through and fix them all.
And that's right now with the market being what it is, that's the hardest one for a lot of buyers is to realize that they can't afford some of the properties, especially when we get done with the home inspection. And that's the peace of mind that I have is at least they're protected and they get themselves into an ugly situation. And that's where I look at having a really good agent is even more important because they're gonna know that before we walk into a home inspection. So the agent's gonna be aware of what the client needs. So when I get there, it's usually pretty much we're ready.
Yeah.
But there's every once in a while an agent who's not as seasoned as you, and I go, oh, they need a good agent.
Yeah, after doing this for 20 plus years, we have a tendency to know what to expect and what not to expect, and it just blows my mind that more people don't get an inspection done prior to listing their home because you want to know what the issues are. And like you said, we've got a beautiful home here that has maybe a couple hundred or if not a couple $1,000s worth of work that we can do up front. So maybe we spend $2,000, $2,500, but we increase the value by $10,000. And if we fix the little issues that you found on the home inspection, we can include the home inspection as part of our disclosure package, and we could say, hey, look, here's the 30 things that James found, but we fixed 28 of them, and the other 2 aren't that big of a deal, right? And that way, the buyer's peace of mind is, wow, that's great. Not only can I be fairly sure that this is a good house, but I can make a top dollar offer because I know I'm not going to have $20,000 or $30,000 worth of repairs that I need to work on. So that always, to me, after buying and selling hundreds of homes myself as an investor, I just, I think that that's the thing that most agents overlook is that once you've given that buyer that peace of mind, they can make that top dollar offer. Whereas if you just say, hey, go ahead, good luck, take a look around. If you like it, make an offer. Then they have that doubt, like any buyer would, right? Like when you buy a used car, you're like, oh, was this car ever in an accident? I don't know. I want to get the Carfax. I want to know all about it so I can make an offer that I feel comfortable making. If I don't have any knowledge about it, I'm going to make a lower offer because I just don't know. So that's the main thing I see, and I'm glad to know that we're one of the few. I mean, that actually go out there and do that. It just sets us on that pedestal. That's one step up. Yeah.
And again, what I look at is as a buyer, when you come in and you see a house with a pre-listing report, you see the condition that it's in. You have that confidence that you get to walk in with your family and your loved ones, and you get to start living life. I really don't know too many people who want to move in and start work. That's what Monday through Friday is for. So again, to have a house be ready, turnkey, and move in ready is the biggest thing for me that I look at and go, you're missing it, agents. This is what a buyer wants. Your house is not going to sit for 4 or 5 weeks. Your house is going to sit for an hour or 2 hours. And you're going to have multiple offers.
You're going to have happier clients, and at the end of the day, they're going to make more money, and they're going to refer you to other people as well.
And that's the biggest one, is the referral. Is if you had a smooth transaction, the whole family's going to hear about it. You had a bad transaction, the whole neighborhood hears about it, right? So at the end of the day, we want to create a good neighborhood, and we want to create a good environment. And so again, educating up front is what you do and what we want to see happen through everybody.
Excellent.
And it's just a blessing to see you and your wife continue to move forward and raise the bar in this industry. Because for us, I look at it and go, okay, this is where we're at. This is where we need to keep going. Setting that bar. Maintaining a standard.
Definitely. And once you've been in the industry for a while too, you start to build up that referral base and that vendor list that you know, trusted people like yourself, like Marco, like, the people that we have used in the past for years and years and years. And we don't just go onto Yelp or Home Advisor and pick the first person that shows up. We're like, no, you know what? These guys, they go way above and beyond. And not only that, but they're going to give you the insight and the expertise that other people aren't. Other people are going to show up, they're going to run through the home, they're going to note a couple of things, they're going to send out a 20-page PDF, and they're going to wipe their hands because they're on to the next one.
Correct.
Whereas you guys are going to sit down and you're going to explain it to somebody, and you're going to make sure that your job is well done, because it is about your reputation and it is about that word of mouth. And if you do a good job today, you're going to get 10 more people that want you to do the same thing for them tomorrow. So it's good to know.
And then one thing that I look at is, again, just treating everybody like they were the family in our family. Again, I look at every house as if it was my best friend, my mother, my child moving in. So when I see a problem, that's how I see it. Is how are they going to address it? How are people small, old, and young going to handle these situations? Yeah. So at the end of the day, again, these are the things that make our job fun. Is our hearts involved, and it's the passion.
Yeah, it is, and it's great to have great people, and that's what makes our jobs fun and entertaining, is being able to work with people who are great at what they do. And so I really appreciate you, and I thank you for doing such a great job.
It's been a pleasure, and it will continue to be my pleasure to be working for you.
Thanks. In today's video, we're going to dive into the repairs and improvements needed to maximize a home's value. We just had the inspection report delivered on this house, and it's got a lot of plumbing and basic maintenance issues that can be addressed prior to the home going on the market, and will increase the sales price dramatically. Why do we do repairs before we have an accepted offer? If a buyer walks into a house and finds any, and I mean any problems, even a light bulb that's burnt out, they are going to think to themselves, what else is wrong with this house that I can't see? And they'll probably make a lower offer to compensate for the perceived problems with the property.
They made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Yeah, well, you haven't heard ours yet.
On the other hand, if they walk into a house and can't find anything wrong, the paint has been touched up, the refrigerator's cleaned out, and it smells amazing, guess what? That's right, higher, and I mean much higher offers. This house needs new floaters and angle stops in all of the toilets, along with a kitchen faucet, new garbage disposal, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detector, and various touch-ups to the paint and woodwork. I purchased most of the materials at Costco and Home Depot, and the total was approximately $425. The plumber did a great job of installing the new kitchen sink, garbage disposal, and fixing all of the toilets. There was a lot of plumbing work that was completed. You can see all of the old parts that were removed. The insides of all the toilets were replaced, and the rusted and non-working angle stops were removed and replaced too. The handyman did all of the other repairs and improvements. He touched up the paint, cleaned all of the windows, including the second-story windows that were next to impossible to get to unless you have a huge ladder. And it needed to get rid of all the scuffs and scratches that come from all that normal wear and tear. When the paint's done and all the touch-ups are completed, the house looks almost brand new. The balcony had some woodwork that needed to be repaired, and the handyman had the right woodworking materials to fix that right up. The grout and caulking around the sinks, backsplash, and shower enclosure all needed to be replaced. I'm happy to say that I'm not totally useless, and I replaced the smoke detectors and added a carbon monoxide detector. Those items are all required whenever selling a home in California. Please make sure to smash that like button. Come on, turn it blue. Also subscribe and press that bell notification so that you'll be notified whenever we release a new video. The plumber was paid $685. The handyman was paid $350. Those service providers, along with the $425 I paid in materials, came out to a grand total of $1,460. For less than $1,500, we probably added $5,000 or more to the value of this house. But more importantly, we will now get offers that are much higher than those little issues that were not addressed. Probably tens of thousands of dollars more. So, make sure that you take care of everything prior to listing your home, or have your real estate broker do it for you. In today's video, we're going to touch on 3 major topics that are extremely important prior to putting any home on the market: deep cleaning, landscaping, and staging. These items are sometimes overlooked or skipped because they can cost a significant amount of money, but when completed professionally, they can add tens of thousands of dollars to the sales price. So let's jump right in. It's extremely important to have the property professionally cleaned by a team that goes through the entire home and doesn't miss anything. All of the clutter and debris needs to be removed from the home, just like when they're new, inside and out. The carpets need to be deep cleaned and deodorized so that all spots are removed. All the windows and glass should sparkle. Enclosures in the bathroom and shower need to have all water spots removed. Any leftover hangers or boxes in the closets need to be recycled. Exterior glass surfaces can be cleaned by using products that help you reach difficult windows. Remember, professional cleaning can cost a few hundred or a few $1,000s, but it's best to do too much rather than too little and miss something because buyers notice everything. On to landscaping. A buyer's first impression of your home can make or break an emotional bond that intrigues them to view it or to scroll right on by. Landscaping is essential, and having that curb appeal that attracts more buyers and thus more offers is what it's all about. All the plants, trees, and shrubs should be trimmed. Nothing should be left looking like it's growing out of control. The right kind of landscaping reveals the house and creates a frame that displays the best features. Having your landscaping done correctly really adds value to the property. Most buyers don't know, but a new home comes with no landscaping at all in the front or backyard, which can cost a home buyer tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. On to staging. Having a home staged is incredibly important. As with decades of experience, we have determined that a staged home will typically sell for 5% or more than a vacant home. New home builders definitely know this, and they've had buyers fall in love with their models and designs and decor just as much as the layout. Accentuating the room by keeping furniture to a minimum is the best way to make small spaces feel large. You can always feature interior views of the home from a staircase or loft area, and that gives the buyer a bird's eye view of the potential layouts for their furniture and their living area. Keep windows and doors as clean as possible. They let in all of that natural sunlight. Accentuate features such as the breakfast bar by putting place settings in place and displaying the function and benefit to potential buyers. It's not just a countertop. It's a place where you and your children can enjoy dinner. Focus on that natural light in the kitchen window to provide a view of the backyard and the mountains beyond. The more homey and comfortable a house feels, the better. Fireplaces and water features are a great way to impress buyers and give them that item to remember when making their offer. Again, the less furniture in a space, the better, as it creates a much larger feel and it can be configured however the buyer would like. Exterior spaces should be as green and colorful as possible, with everything put away. If there's a view, accentuate it with lounge chairs. The patio is an ideal place and it shows off the manicured lawn and mountain views, showcasing the feature of no rear neighbors and privacy. Also, draw attention to the wonderful master balcony. When it comes to staging, there's no need to spend too much time in the bedrooms other than the master suite. It should appeal to everyone and be appointed with a large bed and a few amenities that you'd find in a hotel. Be sure to show off features like the soaking bathtub with salts and oils. Highlight the dual vanities with his and her sinks. And there's also a separate master bath and shower. Stepping out onto the master balcony retreat is one of the best amenities of this home, and it needs to be showcased with the appeal of 180-degree views. On to the conclusion. There are a myriad of aspects of preparing a home prior to a buyer ever walking inside, and I've created other videos to step you through step by step in the process. Once everything comes together, you've got the ideal listing, a home that will appeal to the most potential buyers and garner the highest possible sales price. In today's video, we're going to go through an entire professional real estate photo shoot from start to finish, and I'll also sit down with the photographers at the end to discuss how they get the best photos of any home. Whatever you do when it comes to real estate marketing, never trust an amateur photographer, and never ever do your own iPhone shots. It's a $10,000 mistake and could cost you a lot more than that, as potential home buyers scroll right on by your listing because of poor quality photos. So let's jump right into how to get the best photos possible. The first question that people usually ask is, how much is a professional photographer? And the correct answer to that is, well, it depends. But a typical photo shoot of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home could cost about $250. But you should understand that $250 photos are going to look a lot different from $2,000 photos, video, drone, and other marketing shots. A good rule of thumb is that you'd want to spend about 1% of the total sales price of your home on professional marketing in order to ensure that you attract the most home buyers and thus get the highest sales price. One incredible aspect of real estate photos are drone pictures. They can really capture a neighborhood, a community, everything in a surrounding location. You want to make sure that you provide as much about the neighborhood as you do about the house. If you enjoy amazing aerial drone photography, please make sure to smash that like button and turn it blue. Professional photographers really understand lighting and angles, mainly how to get each room to look a lot larger and brighter than it would normally appear. They also capture shots that bring the outside in and make rooms look incredibly larger so that you can see the grass, the trees, the bushes, the mountains in the distance. Choosing which photos to take can be extremely important, and exterior spaces may be more important than interior ones, especially if you want to get great shots of the neighborhood rather than showing a laundry room. Make sure that your photos tell a story of the home, the neighborhood, and the community. The best stories start with drone photography, neighborhoods, parks, schools, everything, and then you zoom down into the home, the living room, the family room, the dining room, the kitchen, and then onto the bedrooms and the bathrooms, along with any highlights such as home offices or home theaters. And then lastly, you zoom out from the property onto the community and the desirability of living in that area with the proximity to all of the landmarks, shopping, and recreation available. We've sold thousands of properties and worked with hundreds of photographers, videographers, and virtual tour specialists throughout the last 20 years. Most have been extremely impressive, and if you've got any questions about real estate marketing, feel free to leave a comment down below. We can let you know who's done the best job, and if you got any questions at all, feel free to visit my website, christianpeter.com, where you can schedule a quick 15-minute video chat. If you found this information useful, please make sure that you've turned that like button blue. Also, subscribe and hit that bell to be notified whenever I release additional videos that can help or benefit you. So you guys are the photography crew. What are some of the things that you see that professionals look for when it comes to photography that like amateurs, like a real estate agent or broker, wouldn't typically take a photo of?
You really want to pay attention to lighting the back rooms so that when you get one room, the kitchen in the background is well lit up. You also want to make sure that the windows are exposed properly. A lot of people will light the inside, but then you can't see the gorgeous view outside. So making sure there's a good balance between that.
That's great, yeah. And when you take photos, I remember when you said you came in here, you want to get photos of everything so that you don't have to come back, just in case you don't want to miss a bedroom or a bathroom.
Correct. Always ask the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, get multiple angles. That way, if the client ever asks for it, we still have it, because it's always best to take more.
And in a house like this where we have vacant bedrooms that have really nothing in them except for 4 white walls, I always like to take pictures of the parks or the schools or points of interest that other people probably wouldn't know about if they're not from this area.
Yes.
So it's great to get a professional view of those as well.
Absolutely, whether it be the water park that's down the road or the neighborhood pool, those amenities make a big difference to people buying homes.
Definitely. Anything special that you want to share based on your experience? How long have you been doing this for?
Real estate photos for about 6 years.
6 years, okay.
Yes.
Anything that's unique that you think would be of interest to people?
Devil's in the detail always, try to look past just walking in the door and what's going to sell the home, and really taking the time to find those details and highlight them for the clients.
Do you ever cringe when you see a real estate photo that some person took that you're like, oh my God?
Yes, if they would have just moved it to the left or removed a garbage can, or so many little changes can take an awful photograph into a good photograph. So those little things matter.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys taking care of the entire home, and I'm sure it's going to sell quickly, and it's always so much nicer when we have those photos that come in and we can, share them with everybody.
Yes, it's a beautiful home.
Thank you.
You bet.
In today's video, we're going to discuss floor plans, both 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional, and why they're so important to include in any property listing. Be that you're selling your home or renting it on Airbnb or a long-term lease, floor plans can really set your listing apart. A great way to attract buyers or potential renters to your home is by using a floor plan. Your competition probably isn't going to, and over 70% of home buyers or renters want to see what the property looks like before they make their buying decision. With 2D floor plans, some of my favorite apps are Cubicasa and Magic Plan. Both of them have a nominal fee. Magic Plan's about $5, but you need to do almost all of the scanning and put the plan together yourself. It can take a couple of hours if you're not used to the app, but when you're done, you can have a professional looking floor plan. With Cubicasa, it's about $30, but all you need to do is walk around the interior of the property and scan all of the walls. When you're complete, everything gets uploaded to their editors, and then you receive a perfect 2D rendering at the end. The entire home looks perfect, and you'll get it back within 24 hours. Both of these solutions are perfect for quick and easy 2-dimensional floor plans. Here's a few examples. If you're enjoying this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That lets me know that I'm doing a great job, and you'll get notified whenever we release future videos. When it comes to 3-dimensional renderings, the software needed is much more advanced and can cost several hundred or even thousands of dollars. I would recommend using a freelancer or an architect designer to complete this type of work. There are suites out there for computer-aided design or CAD work, and the software can render perfect virtual spaces. They include design elements like flooring, furniture, kitchen cabinets, bathrooms, appliances. When it's done, the entire home looks perfect. These virtual renderings are an enormous wow factor for potential buyers and for anybody who's looking for a home in the neighborhood. A 3D virtual walkthrough is also ideal for older homes and can showcase to potential buyers what a complete remodel of the home would look like. Everyone wants to live in that ideal model home, and now they can. When it comes to floor plans, make sure to include them in all of your marketing and promotional materials. We typically spend somewhere from $500 to $1,000, $1,500 for plans, renderings, walkthroughs, everything that we need in order to promote our listings to the most potential buyers and showcase them so that people can walk through the home from anywhere in the world. If you've got any questions or you need anything, please feel free to visit my website, christianpeter.com. After selling thousands of homes, I understand that the right type of marketing can produce offers that are tens of thousands of dollars more than similar homes in the neighborhood. I take care of all of the details so that homes can sell for record-breaking prices. In today's video, we're going to go through an entire real estate appraisal from start to finish, and at the end also sit down with the appraiser to discuss how to get the maximum value on any appraisal. Whenever you apply for a real estate loan, either for a purchase or for a refinance, an appraisal needs to justify the amount of the loan so that they know exactly what the property's value is. There are three types of appraisals that may be utilized by an appraiser to determine the fair market value of any property. The first type is the sales approach, and this is typically used by 99% of appraisers when it comes to residential home appraisals. In the sales approach, the appraiser utilizes comparable sales from the area to determine what a buyer would be willing to pay for a home based on what other homes have sold for in the previous 6 to 12 months. Adjustments to the appraisal are made for the condition of the home, any improvements, and any other factors that may increase or decrease the value of the home. The second type of appraisal is the income approach, and this method is typically used in about 80% of commercial real estate transactions where the underlying property produces rents or other types of income. In the income approach, if one property produces $10,000 per month and the next door neighbor produces $20,000 per month, then the property with double the income would typically be worth about double the value. Makes sense, right? The third type of appraisal is rarely utilized but can be useful in natural disasters. It is the replacement cost approach. Basically, if the property was destroyed and needed to be rebuilt, what would the cost of rebuilding it be plus the value of the land? So, if the cost to replace the property is $250,000 for a contractor to build the entire structure and the land costs $300,000, then the appraiser would just add those two together and derive the value to be about $550,000 based on that replacement cost approach. Appraisals typically consist of two parts, on-site and off-site. When an appraiser goes on site, they measure the total area of the property and determine if it conforms with the area, so that if it's in a residential or commercial or industrial area, everything in that neighborhood matches with that conforming use. Once the appraiser has measured the entire area of the property, they complete a floor plan and a layout. Most appraisers take several photos of the interior and exterior so that they can note any characteristics that add or subtract from the value. After completing the on-site inspection, the appraiser will typically visit 3 to 6 comparable properties in the area and determine if those properties are truly comparable or if they differ too much to be considered similar. During the off-site portion of the appraisal, the appraiser gathers all the necessary data and compiles it into an appraisal report. Off-site data is obtained from public records such as multiple listing services and tax records. All of the appropriate comparable sales statistics and amounts are input into the report, and the final product is what the lender uses to determine if the value of the property matches what is on the loan. Appraisal reports can typically consist of 5 to 10 pages, but some commercial reports can be 50 pages or longer, and they have extensive details and justify what that final value is. One question that gets asked very often is how much is an appraisal? Most appraisals range from $400 to $800 for a residential appraisal, and then for a commercial appraisal it can be $2,000 or more depending on the amount of time needed to complete the entire report. Most people don't understand that in order to become a licensed appraiser, you have to be an apprentice for 2,000 hours, which would be a full-time job for about a year. After completing the 2,000 hours of apprenticeship, you can apply and get tested to become a licensed appraiser, and at that point you'll be able to provide appraisal reports to lending institutions. So after the appraiser completed his residential appraisal, I sat down with him and discussed how to maximize the value. But before we get into that discussion, make sure to smash that like button and turn it blue. It turns out the best way to maximize your appraised value is to provide the appraiser with a list of any improvements that you've completed on the property and their estimated value. So if you've added a new kitchen with granite countertops and stainless steel appliances and it cost you $50,000, a large portion of those improvements can be added to the appraised value. Not all of them typically, but you will get a lot of your money back for improvements of that type. If your home has any characteristics that differ from the area, be sure to list them as long as they add value. Things like finished garages, views, additional bathrooms, things that the appraiser wouldn't notice or wouldn't be on the tax records are usually good to put in a list and provide them to the appraiser at the time of the on-site appraisal. Lastly, and most importantly, although this is probably self-explanatory, make sure that everything in the home is extremely clean. There are working smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. The condition of the property may add $25,000 or more to the appraisal, and a messy home may detract from the value of the appraisal even though you're the same as other homes in the area. So make sure to keep that baby clean. In today's video, I'm going to be going through the California Regional MLS system. That is the system that real estate agents and brokers use to advertise properties so that they can be syndicated and seen by buyers all throughout the United States and throughout the world. Once we're done, we'll see exactly how things look on Realtor.com, Zillow, and Redfin. But it takes about 45 minutes to an hour and a half for a real estate professional in order to be able to list a home for sale in the MLS. So we'll go through the listing from beginning to end. If you're a homeowner who wants to understand the process a little bit better, or you're a real estate agent who wants to understand how to input the best listing possible to the MLS, this video is for you. Before we jump in, if you enjoy this video, please make sure to tap that like button and turn it blue. Also make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when I release future videos that may benefit you. Once we've logged in, we're typically going to see a welcome screen. It's going to have all of the available resources up there. We're going to go right into Paragon, which is the multiple listing service. Once Paragon loads up, you're going to see a welcome homepage and then some resources. First thing we're going to do is go into our listings. We're going to add a new residential listing. The nice thing about a residential listing in the MLS is that you can autofill it with tax records. So we can go into the CRS data and then pick out the actual street information. There's our property. So once we've got this property, we're going to check it and we're going to autofill our MLS data with it. All of these data fields will be automatically input into the MLS for us. All right, now let's go through the listing. The first question we've got on here is our status. Whenever we don't know what a status might be, we can always click on the magnifying glass button. That's going to pull up your status bar. It's got two choices, either coming soon or active. In this case, we're going to choose coming soon. Save that. It's going to fill that. We're going to fill in the listing agent email confidential remarks. There's no co-listing agent. Expiration date. Listing contract date. Start showing date. Pricing information. The parcel numbers filled in from the tax records. Any additional parcels? No. The address, make sure it's filled out completely. No unit number. It's in San Diego, Chula Vista. The MLS area. Again, if we don't know, we can click on the magnifying glass. The neighborhood. Bedrooms. There's actually 5 bedrooms and 3 full bathrooms. Zoning is R1, residential. Year built 2002. Year built source is going to be the tax records. The buyer's agency compensation. So this is how much percentage-wise the buyer's agent will receive. Buyer's agency compensation type. Percentage. Dual variable comp. No. Listing service. This is if it is full service, entry only, or limited services. Listing agreement. Exclusive right to sell. Contingency. No, they're not looking for another property. Display the listing on the internet. Yes to all of those. Co-special listing condition. Standard sale. Land lease, no. Common interest. It is a part of a planned development. It's not new construction, it's not a senior community, it's not lease considered, and there is a sign on the property. So the first portion of the listing is going to be all of these listing facts. It's got about 40 required fields in it. There's also tabs here for general features, land and terms, remarks, mobile, green, and sold, and we'll get right into those in a second. All right, next portion of the general tab, we're going to go through the living area number of units. Obviously, in this case, it's going to be square feet, not meters. The living area source, you got it from the builder. The lot dimensions, if we have them, the lot dimension source. In this case, we know that the lot size area is 5,079 feet, and we can get that real quick and easily by going through the tax records. So, if we go into the tax records, we can see all about the property, including who owns it, all the public records about the property, and one of the characteristics that we can find is the property characteristics of the lot. Squares feet, 5,079, about 0.12 acre. Put that back into our system here, and in this general tab, we've got about 15 or so required fields, including the source, the total stories, where the entry location is, main level bedrooms and baths, any below ground square footage, below ground or underground parking, attached garages, how many spaces, how many uncovered spaces, and those things. And that's going to be all of your general characteristics. Onto the feature section. As you can see, there is a lot that goes into the feature section. I filled it out ahead of time so that we wouldn't have to spend the probably 30 to 40 minutes it takes to go through every single section, including all the required sections. There's accessibility features, appliances, architectural type, basement, common walls, community features, construction materials, cooling, which way the direction that the property faces, any disclosures, door features, eating areas, electricity, exterior features, fencing, fireplace, flooring, foundation details, the heating, interior features, laundry room, lot features, other structures, patio and porch, pool, property condition, what type of road frontage, the road surface, the roof type, bathroom features, kitchen features, room type, security features. Onto the sewer, is there a spa, utilities, there's views, water, where it comes from, the waterfront if there is any, the windows, and then it lists at the very bottom all of the features. As you can see, puts them all together for you. And if you have any questions on all the features, you can always click on the magnifying glass and it'll pull up all the feature lists, and you can go through and click on each one individually. but there is a ton, and it takes a long time to go through all of the features. But you want to list everything because everything is searchable. So if there's a buyer looking for a certain feature in a property, they can search on it, and if your property has it listed, guess what? Your property comes up in their search results. So when it comes to the land and terms, there are about 12 required fields and several that are voluntary. Most of them don't make a whole heck of a lot of use when it comes to the listing, but a few of them will, like the units on the property, if there are any assessments with the property, the builder information, if there's a well on the property. The last thing that we're going to have in here is the HOA information. There is a homeowner's administration, so we need to list the fees, the frequency, the name of it, the phone number, any contact information, and if there's a second one as well, and then what the amenities are of the homeowner's administration. So most homeowners administration offer several amenities, from pool to spa to the grounds, to hiking trails, clubhouses, those types of things. And then if there's any mello-roos or bonds that are associated with this property that need to get paid off through the taxes, in this case there are none. Land leases, there's no land lease as well. And the last thing that we have in here is the school information. We have the high school district, the high school, middle school, elementary school information, when the new buyer will get possession of the property, if there is any current financing, and the buyer's terms. So we want the buyer to pay cash or cash to a new loan, submit their offer, and conventional, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, government, VA programs are fine as well. So next on our list is the remarks section of the MLS. This is by far the most important portion of the entire listing. It's going to include all of your public remarks, which get syndicated to your Zillow, your realtor.com, your homes.com, your Redfin, all of the main portals that are out there. So you want to make sure that this is on point and perfect. So your public remarks are going to be first. Everything and anything, you have 4,000 characters that you can talk about. You want to lay out your marketing as well as possible so that people get a great idea of what the home's all about. This is how you attract the most buyers right here. I see some copy that people write that are extremely good and to the point and paint a really amazing picture of a home, and I see other copy that people write which is like nice house, you know, things that aren't very descriptive, things that don't sell the property, and things that probably should just be left out. But anyway, you've got your public remarks section, then your private remarks section. That's only what realtors are going to see when they go into the MLS. Directions to the property, syndication remarks, anything that goes out to the syndicators. Then your virtual tour links. So you want your 3 virtual tours, basically your 3D virtual tours, and your videos that include footage of the property so that those can be used on all of the internet portals that are out there. You're going to talk about how the showing's going to go, right? So you're going to talk about your occupant. Is anybody in the property? If so, name, phone number, how do they get in touch with them so that they can view the property, the showing contact, and then the showing contact's phone and how they should go about showing the property, the instructions, the lockbox location and the type of lockbox that it is. Make sure that you have your lockbox with you so that it gets assigned to the property. That way when real estate agents are trying to obtain the lockbox key, they can get in and get to it very simply. The last 3 sections of the MLS listings are going to be rarely ever used. The first one's going to be for mobile homes. If it is a mobile home, there's going to be a Department of Housing decal and a license number that gets put in here so it shows what the mobile home's listing information is. The next part is going to be any green certifications about the home itself. If there's a verification type, like if it's LEED certified gold or LEED certified silver, you're going to put that in here along with the metrics of the green verification, and then the URL that people will go to when they will verify that the home is built in a green way. And the very last portion of this is once the property is in escrow, then you'll go into the sold section and fill that out, who the agent was that represented the buyer, any concessions, and the credits if necessary. So those are the last portions of the MLS listing information. But before we go, we need to take care of some of these additional items over here. You can see there's add edit pictures, there's view detailed reports, there's add edit documents, open houses, tours, and the lockbox information. So we're going to hop right in here and add the photos. So we just uploaded all of our photos into the MLS listing. You can just hit the upload multiple photos right here, choose whatever ones you want from your computer, and then you hit the upload button and boom, they all get populated directly into the MLS. In this case, we've got about 50 or so photos. And then once you've got them, you want to be able to arrange them. So you can just move the photos around whichever way you want them to show up. I'm always trying to tell the best story that I possibly can with the photos. So you want to walk through the property from the beginning photo. This is the primary, which will show up as the first listing photo when somebody comes to the MLS or when they see it on Zillow or Redfin or any of the other websites that are out there. And then they're going to walk through the photos. Typically they're going to go one by one. So we bring them in through the living areas, into the kitchen, into anything that we want to showcase, into the dining room, the family room, the master suite. Then they get a chance to check out the balcony views, the master bathroom, the additional home offices, the front balcony, the bathroom, laundry room, into the backyard, the patio, and then all of the pools associated with the property, the actual amenities, the parks, the picnic areas, the playgrounds, the schools, and finally the community itself. So this is going to show really, really well and give all buyers a fantastic overview of what the property looks like and be able to get them excited, because we want to give them as much detail as possible so that they take a look at this and the first photo obviously catches their eye. They stop scrolling from Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com and they want more information. They want to schedule that showing. So we've input our entire listing into the MLS now, and it is the moment of truth. It's time to save this as a full listing. We're going to hit the save button up there, and it's going to tell us if we're missing anything and if we've got any warnings or errors. In this case, we've got a couple of warnings. We're going to list it today, so we're going to accept that. And then we want the expiration date to be July, so we're going to accept that as well. Once we've accepted those two things, they're going to check off there. And then at that point, when we save the listing, it is going to be live. So now it will start propagating to all of the syndication sites that are out there. People will be able to see it on Zillow. People will be able to see it on Redfin, and they're going to start scheduling their tours as quickly as possible. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 offers altogether. I think I talked to you a little bit about them. The best one, I packaged it up and I sent it over to you. I see that you opened the DocuSign. It was originally 8:30. I actually got them to come up now. They're at 8:42. We have 8:35, 8:20, 8:15, 7:80, 8:10. So the best one that we have is Brett. His buyers, the counter that I sent over was for highest and best. They came back at 842,000. I have their pre-approval letter for 845,000.
How's their credit standing, Christian?
It's good. The pre-approvals right here. I spoke to the lender, Sean, a couple days ago. He told me they can close in 21 days. They're putting about 200,000 down. Shouldn't be too difficult. The only question I'm going to have is I'm going to figure out what the appraiser is going to do, because I don't think the appraisal is going to come in that high, but they said that they would cover any difference between the appraisal and the actual purchase price. So I think we'll be okay with that.
Okay. And that's Adrian and Gloria. What's the last name?
Yeah, it's Adrian Gloria, and then the wife is she goes by Abigail, but her first name's Lovely Abigail Gloria.
Oh, okay. So Adrian and Abigail.
Adrian and Abigail, yeah. They actually put together a nice little letter. I mean, this is their family. So she goes by, I
Yeah,
guess,
sorry.
she goes by Abby.
That's
So
actually there are a lot of kids, so that's a good choice. Okay, what else we have?
so the other ones that we got, everything else was kind of in the same boat. It's right around 8:15, 8:30, 8:21, 8:25. But nobody came up to as far as as Brett. I spoke to him on the phone for a little bit because I also wanted to figure out, if they really wanted the property, what they're doing, how they, and he's like, yeah, they've been looking for a while. They put in several offers. They want to be in Rolling Hills, so I think it'll be a good match. You should be able to go through. It's a basic. All the residential California Association of Realtors contracts. The first one's just the disclosure that the buyers needed to sign. The second part is the fair housing discrimination. Again, just a standard form. And then the possible representation of more than one buyer or seller. And then there's a wire fraud advisory. And looks like page 7 is where it starts the actual purchase agreement. Here's the offer that came in. It's $830,000, closed in 21 days. They're putting $16,600 into escrow as a deposit. They're getting a loan for $664,000, basically putting 20% down. The only term that they put in here is the professionally clean the house and the carpets. The house has already been cleaned. The carpets, I guess we can have them steam cleaned. It's not going to be too big of a deal. Oh, they did want to have the termite work done, so the house will have to get tented, and the termite work will get paid for by the seller. So I know that we got the original report. I think it was like $5,100, something like that. That gets paid through escrow, so you don't pay it up front. It'll just get credited.
How much was the percent for the termite? That's what you mentioned.
The termite, the fumigation was about 2,800, I think, and then there was like 2,300 worth of woodwork. So it came out to about 5,100.
Okay, so they want us to do that. Okay.
Yeah, they want the termite work done before close of escrow. The escrow is going to be 50-50. I'm going to open up the escrow with New Venture Escrow Company in Mission Valley. They're who I usually use. Candy will send out all the instructions, and then Fidelity Title has already done all the title work, so it should be fairly easy. The only other thing that is paid for would be the home warranty. I think it's going to be less than $700. It should probably be around $550, but it's going to be a home warranty that just covers all the house for a year, and it'll be by First American. Covers all the appliances. You're going to already leave the stove, the refrigerator, the washer, dryer, so they have that included in the sale. The rest of the purchase agreement is going to be just the typical time periods, removals. What I did in the counter offer was I gave them 1 week to do all of their inspections, their appraisal, get their approvals for everything. So if something happens, it'll happen in the first week. We'll know about it, and we can, take care of it accordingly.
Okay.
So you got the DocuSign, but it should be, you have to DocuSign all of these documents. There's probably about 20 different spots on there.
Okay.
And then here's the seller multiple counter offer. You've already signed all of this. So these are the terms that they agreed to. And then in their buyer counter offer, their purchase price was increased to $842,000.
This is for the same people then, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then the very last portion of this is the statewide buyer and seller advisory. It's about 15 pages, but it just needs to be, DocuSigned at the end. It's just all the advisories that that go with selling a property and buying a property in California. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that, we obviously got a lot more than what we were expecting. And, there was very few, if any, just small touch-up improvements that we had to do. So saved a lot of money on the kitchen and the flooring and everything else. And when it comes down to it, my understanding is the other one on Esperanza is in escrow for $815.
Okay.
But they're
Yeah, but I think, but what we have going for us is that house has been barely lived in. Like 3 of the bedrooms are like brand new, basically.
Mhm.
The other upstairs, guest bathroom has been hardly used. So besides the master bathroom and the one downstairs and those 2 rooms, basically the kitchen. Rest of the house, I mean, it's in pretty decent shape. So maybe that's why that kind of attracts some people. Because it shows it doesn't have any much wear and tear. Maybe that's what we have going for us.
Yeah, it's it's funny because some people say, oh, it's a fixer upper, and other people say, oh, there's a lot of work I have to do, and other people are like, oh, we can just move in. So it really just depends on who the buyer is.
Yeah, it depends on what people are looking for. But I think it's kind of a good, very good ideal house for people who have like big family, large family, and they got them, a lot of bedrooms and things like that. I think that's good. Okay, that sounds reasonable. What was the next offer that we had from that Brett?
830 was the next highest one. So if for some reason something happens with these people and they end up not being able to purchase for whatever reason, we can go back to the other offers. We have 7. Okay. The next one's, it's $12,000 less, but it is still pretty considerable, especially the fact that my understanding from the other house is that the appraisal came in at 800, and so they had a couple of issues with that and it's the exact same square footage, 2429. It has a couple more upgrades though. It's got granite countertops, a new kitchen, hardwood flooring, that kind of stuff. So, it's in a much more improved condition. But I think that they had an issue with it, and that's why it's taken so long for the property. It's still in escrow.
And that one was the same. Was it the refresh one? Was it the same floor plan as ours, or was it?
Yeah, same floor plan. They just converted that third car garage into the bedroom, so it's the same exact square footage.
Okay. So maybe the difference has to do with what kind of a backyard they have, because ours is open and it's just pretty nice. No neighbors. On the other side there's trees and it's just pretty nice. So maybe that's what makes a difference. And that theirs was for like they got they're closing at what 8. How much was it exactly? The closing?
My understanding is it's in escrow right now at 815.
8:15. Okay.
Yeah, but the appraisal.
So let's
the appraisal came in for them only at 800, so they have to cover that difference.
Appraisal for ours can be pretty good. How much was our appraisal?
Well, ours was 790. So I mean, we have a big. I mean, they're going to have to cover additional $50,000 outside of escrow. So it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, it is, but you get what you pay for it. It's livable as it is, perfectly good condition. If they want to do it eventually, there's no rush, so that they can do it as they said, to their own pace and and whatever they like. So okay, so let's go ahead. And so the plan is, I think we will go with these Glorias, and then if that falls through, but we need to know within a week at most, right?
Yeah, they have a week to respond to us. I mean, to get all their inspections done. Usually, once they start paying for things, they're going to have to get their appraisal, their inspection, their, all their stuff is going to be probably a couple $1,000s to get done. So it sounds to me like they're really, they're a nice family. They really wanted just to get a house, and, they sold their condo. They have a couple $100,000 in the bank, and, they've been looking at different houses, and this is one that fits their family really well because they have 3 children. So I think it'll be perfect.
So and they're moving from LA to here, right?
So they'll be closing escrow. The lender said that he could close quickly in as quickly as 2 weeks, but he says it's probably going to take 3 weeks, so 21 days.
Yeah, that's one. I think that would be good. So let's see. I think if they can start doing that. But the appraisal, did you say that they already have one, or do you want to get their own?
Well, their lender has to probably order their own appraisal. In fact, we want them to get their own appraisal because they don't want to use yours because it's a larger down payment. So maybe they'll have to. I mean, maybe their appraisal comes in at 800 or 810 or something, and that way they won't have to pay as much money out of pocket.
Okay, that's fine. But as long as please let them know the actual square footage. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to meet I'll meet the appraisal out there again, yeah, and have to go through everything.
Same mistake doesn't happen with the last one because he kind of excluded the bedroom altogether. That makes a big difference. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Okay, let's go with this then, Pierre. Kristen. I like Peter for some reason.
I have 3 first names, so I get it all the time. But yeah, it's.
So we will go Peter and Christian.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do this. So just want me to sign on this the DocuSign.
Yeah, why don't you go in right now and do all the DocuSign? Should only take a couple minutes, and then once it's done, it'll send it to me, and then I can confirm it.
Yeah, I switched to this mobile friendly thing. I don't know if it's how many pages is it?
It's about 30 pages.
Okay, so it's draw or select the style. Okay, selected that. Make sure that I have it. Okay, so that's signed. Doesn't automatically jump to the next one, does it?
Yeah, it should. It should take you each one. Go.
I think this mobile friend. Let me turn it off. I think this is kind of just gets stuck on one thing. Okay. So that's okay. Okay, so first one is signed right here, right here, right here. So basically, our cost is going to be about 5,100 for the termite fumigation and repair, and 700 for the appliance warranty, right?
Yeah.
They want like a carpet cleaning too?
Yeah, they want carpet cleaning. I think that's pretty much it. And then there's going to be the normal closing costs, which is going to be title and escrow and, county transfer taxes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and the house has been already cleaned. I don't think there's any point of getting it cleaned again. That one, just said it's done. So that first document, I believe it's all signed. Because all of the offers are there, right? Then I got the pre-approval 676. Is that correct?
Yeah.
There's okay. Then finish. Okay. You should have it.
Okay. Let me make sure it gets over to me, and then I'll confirm that I've got everything. Okay. Yeah, I just got it.
Okay. So let's and then if not, then we'll have Brett. We cannot do it simultaneously.
I don't think that they're going to fall out. I think that I went through and I talked to, four of the eight agents, and then I talked to three lenders, and I really talked to Brett a lot because I wanted to understand the buyers and how much money they had down, because there's a couple people that didn't have as much money that they could put down. I wanted to know where their money was coming from and how quickly they could close and how qualified they were from the lender. And I talked to Sean, who's their lender, for about 20 minutes, and he sounded pretty good. He said, I can try to close it quick, but I think that realistically it probably is going to be about 3 weeks.
Okay. So that will be probably a good time. So if they are qualified, also if these people fall through, then we can go to them and proceed with that. Okay. Sounds great. Fantastic. Just do me a favor. I don't know if you're already sending on it. I saw there was something that you're sending to the other people. Is there a copy of the video? I know you had made a nice video for the other house, Chula Vista. Is there a link on that?
Yeah, I've made a couple of them. I'll share a couple of them. Do you want me to text it to you or email it to you?
Just email them to me.
Okay. I'll email you. I have one that's just kind of a video walkthrough, and then I have one that's a rendering. It's a 3D rendering. I like that one.
Nice presentation. Okay, that would be great. All right, so we are done for Chris. Anything else?
That's it. So we'll get escrow opened up tomorrow. They'll probably start sending you documents next week, maybe Monday or Tuesday. You'll get everything. And then you just need to schedule a time probably with Candy Miller, who's the escrow officer. You can go in and sign with her at any point. And then the only thing that needs to be notarized is the trust deed, or is the grant deed. And then everything else can be signed digitally. And so it makes it pretty easy on your side.
So most of them can be signed, like DocuSign type thing, but the last one it has to be in the escrow house.
You can have it done, with a mobile notary if you want, but when I do it, I just usually go in and see Candy because she does it for free. Otherwise, the mobile notary is, $150.
Okay. So Candy, can she come to our home or?
She's an escrow officer. I'm not sure if they even have. She's in Mission Valley. I always go to her office. She's not a mobile notary, but if you need to have somebody come out, or if you want to, you can always take it to just a notary. I think notaries are only like $15 or $20 if you just want to take it to some notary at Postal Annex or Mailboxes, etc., or someplace like that.
That's more convenient, I think. Let me get it notarized locally. Because Mission Valley is kind of a little bit far from us, but that's fine. If I can do it that way, then I'll just send it like overnight or whatever, secure.
Yeah, she'll overnight you. She'll FedEx you whatever the documents are that you need, and then if you want to, you can just have it notarized, someplace close to you, and send it back, or you can just have her do it. Whatever's easiest.
How many signatures do you have to notarize? Because I know they charge per signature.
The good thing is. Yeah, I know. The good thing is that the only thing that needs to be notarized is the grant deed. So that's the only thing that they'll charge you on. Everything else you can just sign.
Okay, so that's what I'll do it that way. But if they're like more signatures, I think I don't have a problem driving there like I don't know if they're open Saturday or something. Just hand it in. I don't notarize there with Candy. If that works.
Yeah, she's usually open. I mean, I'm just not sure with COVID, but she's usually there, almost all day during the business days. I'm not sure if she's there. Sometimes she's there on Saturday, Sunday, but I just don't know what her schedule is. But you can always ask her.
We can arrange it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'll do it either through FedEx, get it notarized and put it in whatever they usually send the return envelope and all, and I drop it the same day. Although I just had one package lost by FedEx.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Fisher. And on this Texas thing, I didn't receive anything.
Yeah, I got the prospectus from Vince. He was going to type up a letter, just a quick overview prospectus commitment letter, and send it to me. I haven't received it yet. He'll probably get it to me tomorrow. Once he does, I'll forward it off to you. I know he's going to close.
Sure.
He said he's going to close, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So he just wants to get everybody's commitment before then.
Okay, that's fine. But if you have like a document like what's going to be like my thing, it's kind of like not a final thing, but close to what the actual contract involves, so I can have Ron take a look at it and get it very close to tax time. I don't want him to take forever, reviewing it and all that,
Yeah.
or whatever. It needs to be, given to a lawyer, for review. So the sooner I get it, I can give it to him, pass it on to him.
Okay.
We can go on that. All right. Thanks, Rob. You have a good night. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thanks. Have a good night. Well, we did it again. Another home sold for a record-breaking value in San Diego County. We've been breaking records for the last 2 years when it comes to home sales. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I have never seen a seller's market quite like this. Don't trust any average real estate agent who puts a sign in your yard, puts a couple pictures on the internet, and gets offers on your home. I can show you our step-by-step process, how we took this home from where it was to where it is right now, and how it sold for $130,000 above what Zillow said it was worth. That's right, we sell homes for hundreds of thousands of dollars more than even what Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com say the home's worth. This was quite a couple of months, right? We went from, we met back in December to go through everything, and now we're in February, right? And the end of February. But how did everything go on the whole?
Everything went fantastic. You were great, very responsive. Whatever questions I had, you promptly, answered back. Either emailed me or called me back, and so whatever questions I had regarding the sale, different aspects. You got the home kind of made it into a more presentable decoration type of things, moving furniture, and I appreciate that. Our home looked fantastic, very presentable. It has been one of the best experiences.
Thank you. Yeah, when we first got to this, remember with the pricing we were at? I think Zillow said $712,
yeah,
$715, and then when we went into the refi, we got them up to $790, and now we've got under contract at $842, which is
it's
incredible.
fantastic. It's much better than I had expected. You got everything, put a very nice package on the internet. I believe even the first Sunday that we were showing it, we got like 5 or 6 offers.
Yeah.
There were about like 8 showings, which is like marvelous, and I was very pleased with that. And all of these offers that we got, they were really all of them very good offers.
I was real excited because obviously I live down the street and selling houses for
that was a fortunate thing for us also.
Yeah.
But Christian, what he did was really going, beyond what really a traditional realtor does, and he did a lot of these extra nice things for me, which I really appreciate. He did like whatever needed. For example, like changing the one of the, I think, smoke detectors was not working. He went and just purchased it on his own and changed it. So things like that. These are very nice touches that you did.
Yeah, I tried to make sure that we coordinated the handyman and
exactly handyman for the plumbing. Some of the plumbing needed to be done, so you coordinated all of that. The final cleaning of the house, you arrange that. So that was very nicely done, and they did a very good job. So things like that that usually might not be quote unquote, it's not the traditional part of the job for the realtor. But Christian did all of it from the beginning to the end.
Remember when you said you wanted to put the granite countertops in the kitchen?
Yes,
and I
yes.
said, absolutely not.
Yes, yes. We were thinking about it to make the house more presentable, so we wanted to upgrade like some of the house in general was in a good shape, but doing that extra things, putting the granite countertop, changing the bathroom fixtures, things like that. He looked at it and he said it looks really nice, but we can work on the price on that, and the new buyers, they can do whatever they like to their own taste and their own decoration, and they can make the changes they want.
Yeah, it's always good to save, probably $20,000, $30,000 worth of work.
Yes,
and
at least, yeah.
We still got the offer though that was, $20,000,
Yes.
$30,000 above the
Yes.
neighbor's price. So
Yes, absolutely.
It's been fantastic.
So sometimes necessarily, the house has to be in a good shape, but sometimes doing the extra work, depending on the situation, might not, pay off. But Christian is the expert in that. This is actually second time I've been working with Christian. The first time was our selling our first home. That was about 20 years ago or so.
A while ago, yeah.
A while back. So he has been in the business, and he's one of the best, or maybe the best. So no, in our sincerity. So that first sales went very smoothly, and we got a very nice price on our first home also. So he knows what he's doing, and that's really important, especially when you're doing these types of things, buying or selling, to go with the person. He or she need to know their business and what they are doing. And Christian is, as I said, is one of the best, and I'm glad I found him again.
At the end of the day, it's all about what the homeowner nets from the sale of a property. In this case, the closing statement shows that we sold the property for $842,000. But what did the seller walk away with? The seller received a check for $653,373.93 from the sale of this property. Incredible. Not only that, but we saved him thousands of dollars from unnecessary repairs that he thought must need to be done prior to the property being sold. We didn't have to do any sort of upgrade whatsoever, and that saved him probably $30,000 or more. So that net value that you get at the end of transaction is incredible. How did this differ from what Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor.com said the property was worth? So the three largest real estate portals said that the home was worth $710,000 to $715,000 at the time that we listed the property, which was about $130,000 less than we ended up selling the property for. When you go from preparation to marketing to negotiation to closing, and there's a process that drives every single decision that you make along the way, we can net way more money than any other real estate company. And we pass along that benefit to all of our friends, family, and clients. If you've got any questions about real estate, feel free to let us know. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when we release future videos just like this one.
Home prices in Chula Vista have skyrocketed, and we've broken records for highest sale in East Lake, Rolling Hills, Rancho Del Rey, Otay Ranch, and Winding Walk. Our guarantee is that we will sell your home for a record-breaking price, $25,000 or more than your neighbors, or you pay us nothing. Schedule a quick 15-minute video chat to find out more. Don't settle for an average real estate agent. We guarantee a record-breaking price. Christian and our team are looking forward to working with you. If you have any questions, please visit christianpeter.com. Have us sell your home for more than you ever thought possible.